Man, oh man, it is a lot going on in the world of Caitlin Clark. New sponsorships to the left, new deals to the right. It's a lot going on. We are gonna get to everything. Caitlin Clark, did you turn down $15 million? Oh, that's a boss move. Oh, that's a crazy boss move.
The biggest rivalry in sports right now isn't being settled on the court. It's a silent war being fought in boardrooms, in contract negotiations, and in the court of public opinion. While one star was busy bragging about bringing the eyes to the WNBA, the other blinked once and landed a rumored offer that could have bought her a kingdom. The fallout from that single moment has exposed a feud so deep and a power shift so brutal. It's left one star looking like a visionary and the other fighting to stay at the center of a story she no longer controls. This isn't just brutal, it's comedy golden sneakers.
So, Caitlin Clark, it has been revealed that Ice Cube offered her $1.5 million per game. And this is my favorite thing, is that the big three will use Caitlin Clark in every bit of their promotion. But you know, Rachel Demita quote tweet something about Caitlin Clark and she lost her job. Let's never forget that.
It all started with a number that sounds like a typo, $15 million. This wasn't a standard WNBA contract. This was a rumored offer from Ice Cube's Big Three League, a siren song trying to lure the sport's biggest star away from the league she was destined to save. Most athletes would have jumped at the chance, building a golden driveway or buying an island shaped like their initials. But Caitlin Clark's response was deafening silence. By not even acknowledging the offer, she sent a message far more powerful than any press conference ever could. She was worth more. She wasn't just rejecting a deal, she was rejecting the premise that her value could be bought so easily. This single, silent power play instantly made her look untouchable.
Clark reportedly turned down $15 million. $15 million? Bro, 15. Hey, listen. I understand. You got Nike deals. You got freaking PGA Golf Tour, Live Golf Tour. You got hockey sponsor. I know you got a lot going on, but to turn down 15 M's, unrivaled. If y'all thought a few million and some equity was gonna get her to show up and play in your league, you got another thing coming. I said it. If Unrivaled want Caitlin Clark, y'all a minimum of 10 million plus like 50% ownership of the whole league.
While Caitlin was turning down fortunes without saying a word, Angel Reese was making a stunning declaration of her own. Following a game where her teammate, Kennedy Carter, delivered a brutal blindside foul to Clark, Reese stepped up to the podium. With the world watching, she embraced a new identity, stating she would happily take on the bad guy role. She spoke of the narratives being built against her, but to many it sounded like a concession. It was as if she realized she could no longer be the hero of the story, so she was choosing to become the villain, a move that only further cemented her position as the antagonist in Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise.
To voice of the big three talking about it.
15? I thought that she was 5.
No, 15.
Woo.
After it started at 5.
Right.
But the official final offer was $15 million for 10 weeks.
I wonder how much money Caitlin Clark is actually making. Like, I think that, like, some of those talks, apparently it costs, for her to go in person, it's like 200 grand for 30 minutes. Like, and she was doing three of those a week. Like, I would say Caitlin made $1 million off the Panini deal, minimum.
To truly understand the tension simmering beneath the surface, you have to rewind the tape to the 2023 NCAA Championship. In the final moments of LSU's victory over Iowa, Angel Reese walked over to Caitlin Clark and flashed John Cena's "You Can't See Me" gesture, the same gesture Clark had used earlier in the tournament. The moment went nuclear. It ignited a firestorm of debate about sportsmanship, taunting, and the unspoken rules of competition. For millions of viewers, this was the opening shot in a war for the soul of women's basketball. It drew the battle lines and created two distinct camps, forcing fans to choose a side in a rivalry that was just getting started. It was the spark that lit a fire the league is still trying to control.
I'm sure you all remember Ice Cube and the Big Three, and he made this huge offer to Caitlin Clark, and everyone was wondering, is she gonna, I think they said publicly, I could have sworn they said 5 million, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, for what about a 10-week season, and would she take that? And then that, put an emphasis on the 338,000 that she's getting over 4 years for the WNBA, and on and on. And of course she turned it.
From that moment on, they were set on two completely different paths, building two very different empires. On one side, you have Caitlin Clark, the meticulously crafted corporate dream. She's the face of Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm, a wholesome, record-breaking phenom from the heartland. Her brand is built on skill, humility, and shattering expectations. On the other side, Angel Reese, the Bayou Barbie, built her empire on unapologetic confidence and style. She embraced her identity, landing a massive deal with Reebok, personally spearheaded by Shaquille O'Neal. She represents a disruptive force, a different kind of superstardom that challenges the old guard of how a female athlete should act and what she should represent.
Caitlin Clark just made two of the most shocking business moves of the year. First, she looked a staggering $15 million offer right in the eyes and flat out rejected it. And we're going to show you exactly where that money came from and the real reason she said no. But the deal she accepted with Stanley reveals her true strategy, and it's a genius move that could make her far more than $15 million in the long.
But before all of this, Angel Reese had a catchphrase, a campaign she built her entire public persona around. "I'd bring the eyes." For a while it worked. She was the self-declared ratings magnet, the one feeding the culture and bringing mainstream attention to women's college basketball. The cruel irony is how quickly that narrative crumbled. Caitlin Clark didn't need a catchphrase. Her game was the marketing campaign. The second Clark stepped onto a WNBA court, the "I bring the eyes" mantra felt like an old ringtone, catchy for a moment, but painfully dated once a new hit came along. Angel's whole campaign now feels like she was bragging about inventing sliced bread, while Caitlin was busy inventing Wi-Fi.
Offer to Caitlin Clark was $15 million for 10 games. I think the guy in the video says 10 weeks, but I can't remember if they play off the top of my head if they played more than a game a week. But yeah, think about that. She got $338,000 for 4 years in the WNBA. Now I know she makes a lot of money. I think she made 11.1 million in 2024 because of all her endorsements. I saw where she just got an endorsement from Stanley, the insanely overpriced cups. Sorry to anyone who likes Stanley.
But you can't talk about this rivalry without addressing the controversial undertones that the media and fans latched onto immediately. The debate exploded online, with many pointing out a glaring double standard. When Caitlin Clark showed swagger, she was called competitive. When Angel Reese did the same, she was labeled classless and unsportsmanlike by a vocal portion of the public. This added a deeply uncomfortable but undeniably powerful layer to their feud, turning their on-court battles into a proxy war for larger conversations about race, respect, and who is allowed to be confident in the world of sports. The media didn't just report on the rivalry, it actively poured gasoline on the fire, creating a blaze that benefited their ratings more than anyone.
15. Woo! After it started at 5,
Right.
But the official final offer was $15 million for 10 weeks. He must be making some good dough, and I just think that it was more like a leak thing.
She didn't want to be
anything.
Yeah,
She had to give the WNBA
Yeah, and I'm sure many offers came to her, especially after that. I think we helped her.
Yeah, make more money
with some more money. If anything, you got a name like Ice Cube offering you $15 million on publicly, man. You got all that. That's all you need.
That simmering tension finally boiled over in the WNBA. The now infamous foul by Chennedy Carter wasn't just a hard play. It was seen by millions as an assault. Carter shoulder-checked a defenseless Caitlin Clark to the floor before a word was even spoken. But the most revealing part of the incident wasn't the foul itself. It was the reaction on the Chicago Sky's bench. Cameras caught Angel Reese leaping to her feet, clapping and cheering for the aggressive takedown of her rival. For many, this was the smoking gun, the visual proof that the animosity wasn't just media hype. It was real, it was personal, and it was escalating into something far uglier than simple competition.
$15 million. That's life-changing money for anyone, let alone a rookie athlete. So where did this unbelievable offer come from, and why on earth would Caitlin Clark turn it down? So the offer, as you guys can see on the article on the screen, was from the Big Three, the 3-on-3 basketball league founded by the one and only Ice Cube. And the first offer was already huge, a cool $5 million ball. But in a sign of just how desperate they were to get Clark, they tripled it, blowing it up to a massive $15 million. And get this, it wasn't for a full year. It was for a 10-week season. The pitch was simple: come play in the Big Three, be the undisputed star, cash a paycheck that makes most pro basketball salaries, men's or women's, look like pie.
And what was the league's response to this? A quiet upgrade of the foul from common to a flagrant one, and a small fine for Chennedy Carter. To many, this felt like a slap on the wrist. Critics immediately accused the WNBA of being complicit, of secretly enjoying the drama because it was driving unprecedented viewership. By not coming down harder, the league sent a message: the chaos is profitable. They were walking a tightrope, trying to protect their golden goose, Caitlin Clark, without alienating the veteran players or discouraging the very intensity that was making their games must-see TV. They weren't just officiating a game, they were producing a reality show.
2 hours ago, Stanley posted this to their page. It's a clip, and then it shows a basketball coming up. And then at the 22 mark, it turns blue. The numbers turn blue. So here's the blue 22, and at the bottom it says clocks ticking, history hits at 22. Which is funny because when I saw it, it's only got like 276 likes, not very many comments. People in the comments are like, what is this? Well, as a resident Iowan, I'm here to say I think it's Caitlin Clark.
The incident didn't just dominate sports talk shows, it set the internet ablaze. The rivalry moved from the court to a digital battlefield, where anonymous armies of fans clashed in comment sections and on social media. Every clip was dissected, every facial expression was analyzed, and every post was weaponized. Team Clark and Team Reese became digital tribes, defending their chosen player with a ferocity that bordered on obsession. This social media warzone amplified the drama tenfold, creating viral moments out of thin air and ensuring that even people who didn't watch basketball were invested in the outcome. The online vitriol became as much a part of the story as the game itself.
The t-shirt, just United Front, was determined this morning that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. That really needed to be mentioned.
She's like, why are you even mentioning this? And the answer is because everybody is pissed in the WNBA at the fact that Caitlin Clark is famous and is making them all richer. And you want to talk about a zero-sum mentality? That right there is a massive zero-sum mentality. Truly insane. She is making you your money. That is what Caitlin Clark is doing. So continue along these lines, ladies. Continue trying to basically body check Caitlin Clark every time she comes onto the court like it's a hockey game.
And if you look at the numbers, the league's cautious reaction makes perfect sense. We're not just talking about a popular player, we're talking about a one-woman economic phenomenon. Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever jersey sold out within an hour of her being drafted. Her games are responsible for the highest WNBA television ratings in over 2 decades. Arenas are selling out, and ticket prices are skyrocketing. The WNBA isn't just promoting its newest star, it's hitching its entire financial future to her wagon. This commercial dominance creates its own form of tension, as other players, including Angel Reese, are now forced to exist in the massive shadow cast by Clark's unprecedented celebrity.
I know that you recently made a pitch to Caitlin Clark. Does your offer to Caitlin still stand? And do you have a message for her if she's on the fence?
Yes, it does still stand. If she's on the fence, we could talk about anything that's concerning her. I think we will accommodate her in any way, shape, or form, allowing her to play in the WNBA. A guy from Barstools offered her $10 million to play in his rec league. And
But while the league's overall revenue is exploding, a new problem is emerging behind the scenes. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rising tide lifting all boats. She's a tsunami of cash and endorsements that is drowning out almost everyone else. While the WNBA finally agreed to charter flights for all teams, a major win for players, the individual sponsorship money is heavily concentrated. For every new multi-million-dollar deal Clark signs with brands like Wilson and Panini, another veteran player watches their own market value shrink. The financial disparity is creating a quiet but palpable jealousy in locker rooms across the league. It's no longer just about respect. It's about survival in a market that now only seems to have room for one queen.
And where the GOAT, Caitlin Clark, is going to be. ESPN has not always been the biggest supporters of Caitlin Clark. You see the nonsense that Monica McNutt and a bunch of others spewed consistently about Caitlin Clark on the network. Let's see if they get it right, because I'm telling you right now, if anybody not named Caitlin Clark is at the top of this list, this video will be ended within the next 10 seconds. I'm going to put it to you just like that. We're not playing no games.
This isn't just a two-player drama. There are whispers that the resentment toward Caitlin Clark runs deep throughout the league. Before Clark even played her first professional game, WNBA legend Diana Taurasi issued a stark warning, saying, "Reality is coming." Many interpreted this as a sign that the veterans of the league were not going to roll out the red carpet for the rookie. The physical fouls and aggressive play against Clark are seen by some as a league-wide hazing ritual, a violent message that she has to earn her respect. In this narrative, Angel Reese isn't an outlier. She's simply the most visible face of a league-wide resistance against a rookie who got the crown without paying her dues. And when a giant like Shaquille O'Neal steps into the conversation, the entire world listens. As Angel Reese's mentor and business partner at Reebok, Shaq has become her most powerful defender. He has publicly advised her to ignore the noise and has even gone on record to say that he coached his players to play physically against superstars, subtly validating the aggressive tactics being used against Clark. Shaq's involvement adds a layer of undeniable credibility to Angel's corner, proving that while Clark may have the corporate world behind her, Angel has a legend guarding her back, and he's not afraid to throw his weight around. Amidst all the noise, the taunts, and the physical play, Caitlin Clark's greatest weapon has been her silence. While Angel Reese is vocal, holding press conferences and embracing the villain role, Clark remains almost unnervingly composed. She answers questions with diplomatic, media-trained precision, never taking the bait, never firing back. This calculated restraint is a power move in itself. It makes her seem mature, focused, and above the drama, which only infuriates her opponents more. Her refusal to engage in the mudslinging makes her look like the bigger person, allowing her to control the narrative without ever having to raise her voice. But here's the twist. The mainstream media won't tell you this bitter, public, and often ugly rivalry is the single greatest thing that could have ever happened to the WNBA. For decades, the league struggled for mainstream attention. Now, it has a storyline more compelling than any reality TV show. It has a clear hero and a willing villain. It has drama, controversy, and high stakes every single night. People who had never watched a WNBA game in their lives are now tuning in just to see what happens next between Caitlin and Angel. They have, intentionally or not, created a cultural phenomenon that is making everyone rich. So, is Angel Reese truly furious that Caitlin Clark is stealing the spotlight she helped create? Or is she a brilliant strategist who understands that in the world of modern entertainment, it's better to be the villain in a blockbuster than the hero of a forgotten film? The lines have become blurred. We may no longer be watching a simple basketball rivalry. We might be witnessing the two smartest players in the game, co-authoring the WNBA's new golden age, understanding that their conflict is far more valuable than any friendship could ever be. They may be enemies on the court, but in the business of fame, they are the most successful partners in the league.